Right, so now we're going to look at the composition of blood. What is blood made up of? Blood. Let's use that word. Composition. What is it composed of? What is it made up of? Right, there's 5 things that you should notice. The first one is plasma, red blood cells, and white blood cells. Right, in that white blood cell there's the lymphocytes. You'll get used to these words. Lymphocytes. Phagocytes. And then finally something what we call platelets. So these are the 3 things that we're going to look at. Right, the first bit that we were going to look at is blood plasma. So this is the liquid. This is the liquid part of the blood. Liquid part of the blood. Right, and what does it mainly consist of? Water. And what's the purpose? Let's change. It carries blood cells around the body. It also carries any nutrients, any other things that are dissolved in the blood, it carries those around. So it carries dissolved nutrients. Around body. It also carries any hormones. And we'll come across those. And also what it does, it carries around carbon dioxide. And finally it carries around, so these are the things that you need to know at this level. Urea. Right, those are the main things. And what it also does, it helps distribute heat around the body. So these are the important things. So let's quickly go over. Plasma is the liquid part of the blood, mainly consisting of water. It carries around the blood cells, dissolved nutrients that your body needs, any hormones that your body produces and needs. It also carries around carbon dioxide where it's expelled out of the lungs, and it carries out urea from the filtering in the kidney. Right, one other important thing it does, it helps distribute heat around the body. So when you're feeling cold at the tips, it will start sending blood to that area. Or if you want to, if you're feeling too hot and it needs to take blood to the surface of the skin so it can evaporate the sweat or radiate away, that's what it does. Right, now we're going to look at red blood cells. Right, they are red because they contain something called hemoglobin or hemoglobin. So you need iron to help make those molecules, and that gives it its red color, I believe. Right, what's the purpose of hemoglobin? So oxygen attaches to the hemoglobin, and then gets transported and then moves around the body. Right, there's a few things that we need to know. Right, that's a fantastic drawing. That is a red blood cell. Right, that is your red blood cell. So remember, sometimes you will see red blood cell. That's a short way of writing that. Right, if you notice here, it's got a biconcave shape. Right, let's write that down as number one. It's got a biconcave shape. What does that do? That increases the surface area of the cell to allow more efficient diffusion of oxygen. Diffusion of oxygen. Another thing you've noticed that it's got no nucleus. Nucleus. How does that help? There's more room for hemoglobin to carry oxygen about. More room for hemoglobin for oxygen to be transported around the body. Right, okay, those are the key features: biconcave shape, no nucleus. Okay, let's quickly look at white blood cells. White blood cells. White blood cells. Right, the first one you need to look at is a lymphocyte. It's about the same size of a red blood cell, but it contains a large nucleus. Right, this has two functions. It produces or makes antibodies. It makes antibodies for specific antigens. So makes antibodies. So let's get that word in. For specific antigens. Right, and antigens are markers on pathogens or nasty bacteria and viruses. Right, so that's what it does. And that'll help kill the pathogen. 2. Some of the lymphocytes become what we call, and we'll do more of this later, become memory cells. These then stay in the blood, and next time the same pathogen comes, it can recognize it and kill it quicker. Right, the next one, let's try that, is the phagocyte. Right, this is a much bigger cell, although I can't do it, I've not got wrong room, but it's important that the nucleus is lobed. So this is the nucleus. That there is a round nucleus, that one there, and this is a lobed nucleus, so it's important. Right, first of all, let's get this written down. It's a large cell compared to the other blood cells. Secondly, it's got a lobed or shaped nucleus. And thirdly, what it does is it engulfs. It means it goes around and grabs any pathogens and then eats them. Engulfs pathogens. And what else does it do? It digests them, it eats them, it kills them. Digests pathogens. So it's like a big cleaning up operation. Right, the last bit is the plasma. No, not the plasma, sorry, the platelets. These are little bits of old cells that are floating about in the blood. So what happens is when you get a cut, so when you get cut and you start bleeding, what happens is these platelets release chemicals, and this is all you need to know for now. Release chemicals that help blood clot. It helps the blood clot. Right, otherwise if you didn't, you would either bleed to death or you would bleed a lot. And pathogens or little organisms that can cause you to fall ill. Pathogens, so it stops pathogens, so let's write that. Stops pathogens getting into the body. There you go. So that's all the blood done so far. We're going to discuss immune response later on.